Good morning. Today we started a new series on purpose. We're going through an acrostic for the word purpose, and today we're talking about the P, which is powerlessness. And so we want to figure out that question that Rick Warren talked about, what on earth are we here for? So let's look at the screen here. Let me read through this quickly. It said, finding purpose in recovery. It says, the program of recovery states that we're powerless over people, places, and situations that come into our lives. And we do have power in how we choose to respond over people, places, and situations. See, we don't have power over what comes into our life, but we do have power in how we respond to it. It says, when we accept the first recovery principle, which is powerlessness, and take the first step out of our denial and into reality, we see that there are a few things that we really have control over. Once we admit that by ourselves we are powerless, we can stop living in bondage and be set free. That's what we want to be, is free. We want to be loose from the bondage of our addiction and the bondage of self. Let me go quickly here. It says, finding purpose in recovery again. Look at this, Exodus 15, 9 and 15. For by now I could have struck out my hand and struck you, and you and your people with a plague that would have wiped you off the earth. What God is saying is, by now, he could have stretched out his hand and wiped us out. And so what we're trying to figure out is why we still here. Why hasn't he wiped us out? That's the thing that we got to figure out is, why hasn't God took me out? Check this out. It says, as we look at the life of Pharaoh and back on our own individual lives, we see that we're still here only by God's grace. That's what we have to realize, y'all, is that the only reason you have survived addiction and survived whatever you have went through is by God's grace. That he has a purpose and a plan to use you and to bless you. What you got to figure out is why has he spared me? And what is it that he wants me to do? And tomorrow we're going to talk about that either way God is going to use us. He'll use us as we surrender to bless us, or he may use us in our demise. And our demise and destruction may bless other people. But we want to find out what God has spared us for and blessed us so that we can be participants. God, for God's glory and our benefit. Thank you. Stay tuned.